Okay, so the poem that I had today is called Limbo. It was written by Shamius Haney. And so the theme of this poem that I've came to the conclusion is that you must sacrifice in order to keep a good standing or a good relationship with your God. In this poem, it's clearly about a Catholic religion. This religion is Catholic because of the title. The title is Limbo, and limbo is like a thing that a lot of Catholics believe in, and it's a place where people go, and it's like on the outskirts of hell. And it's often where like little like babies go, or like people who are very innocent go. So start off in the first stanza. It says, fisherman at Bali Shannon knitted an infant last night along with the salmon. So obviously this is a baby fish that was caught by the fishermen in Ireland. Bali Shannon is an area in Ireland, and it's saying how fishermen caught an infant along with salmon. So it was two fish caught, one was a baby fish and one was salmon. And the next line it says, in a legitimate spawning. And I took this as a reference of the spawning of Satan, since we are talking about limbo, which is the outskirts of hell. The next stanza, a small one thrown back to the waters, but I'm sure it stood in the shallows, decking him tenderly. Obviously, this is talking about baptism. Ducking him tenderly is the action that is committed while baptizing someone. And a small one thrown back, this represents like the baby fish that has been baptized, but the baby fish is really a reference to a baby that was being baptized in the shallows. The next stanza, it says, he is a minnow with hooks tearing him open. So this is showing a minnow is a baby fish. So once again, a baby is being compared to a fish. All this fish imagery that is being shown, and part of it is that the baby is compared to being a minnow with hooks. So this baby fish has hooks tearing her open. So this is a reference to the mom having a minnow, which is the baby fish, or having a baby with hooks and tear her open. So obviously this woman who is pregnant is having an illegitimate spawning of the baby, and the baby could be the spawning of Satan, and Satan is a baby is taking place of a baby, which is tearing her open insides. And this lady seems to have a very strong relationship with God, because in the next stanza she then kills the baby when it says, she waited, and under the sign of the cross he has hauled in with the fish, now limbo will be. So it says he is hauled with the fish, so this is showing that he is now with the rest of the fish that are in limbo. And limbo is again the outskirts of hell. So this baby has been entered in the outskirts of hell, and the only way that he can get there is if he died. So therefore this mother went to under the cross and waited in under the cross and has killed the baby in order for her life to be saved, because she didn't want to have the birth of this Satan baby. And so obviously she is sacrificing her baby in order to have a good standing with her God because of her Catholic religion and her belief of limbo. And in the last stanza it says, a cold glitter of souls through some far briny zone, even Christ palms unhealed, smart and cannot fish here. So again, there is also more and more fish references, and having this fish reference is showing, like, having this fish reference is a reference to the Christian lifestyle. So this poem was written in 1966, and back in 1966, if you were a Christian, you weren't really allowed to express that Christianity. So therefore, fish, they had often drew a fish symbol, and it often represented Jesus. And back in this time, Christians used the fish symbol to kind of recognize other Christians, because back in the day you weren't allowed to express that you were Christian or you would be killed. So a lot of fishes or fish symbols were used to represent that you were Christian, and that's why there were so many fish references within this poem, because fishes represents Christians and you weren't allowed to express your Christianity. So there was an allusion to Christ's palm unhealed. So this was after she had committed the murder of her baby. And it says, even Christ's palms unhealed, smart and cannot fish there. So Christ's palms unhealed, this is a reference, this is a biblical allusion to Christ's palm being unhealed. This is a representation of him when he was on the cross and his palms were nailed to the arms of the cross, and his palms still go unhealed. So it's just showing to where when he was on the cross, smart and cannot fish there. So this is showing that. So now this fish or this baby is now in limbo, which is the outskirts of hell. And God, he is not Christ. He isn't very fond of limbo. So therefore, he wasn't gonna end up going to limbo to try to save the baby. So therefore, cannot fish there. This is showing that Christ could fish in limbo, or he couldn't go and get and save the baby from limbo, because Christ isn't very fond of limbo or hell. So therefore, he wasn't going to go there. So therefore, although the lady tried to sacrifice the baby to be in good standings with God, God wasn't going to go get the baby because of the limbo, and that he wasn't going to go there to save her just because she sacrificed the baby for him. So there was often a lot of cold diction throughout the poem. The first one was frozen knobs of her wrists were dead as gravel. This has the word frozen, but also with a simile as word as dead as gravel. And then a cold glitter of souls. Cold and frozen are often affiliated with winter, and winter is often affiliated with dead. So this shows that this woman had killed her baby in order to try to save herself. And although killing this baby although her murder of this baby sent the baby to limbo, she just wanted to do it to have a good relationship with her Christ and her God. And the fact that she wanted to kill her baby just to have a good relationship with Christ shows that this is what you often do in the Catholic religion, because in the Catholic religion, you would tend to do anything you can to have a good relationship with your Christ or your God. You would do anything, even if it was killing a spawn of Satan. And in the Catholic religion, you weren't allowed to represent Satan in any kind of way. So that mother didn't want to have that bad spawn in her, that legitimate spawning, which is why she decided to go under the cross and say her sacrifice, and that what she was about to commit in order to save herself from going to actual hell. So she really sacrificed. In the Catholic religion, this really showed that people would sacrifice everything, that people would actually do that to save their religion and their good standing with their Lord. So this poem is showing that how a woman decided to kill her babies to show a good relationship with God, and this shows that you should have a good standing with your God, and you would do anything to sacrifice in order to be in good standing with your God. So